The Birra Moretti Zero smells like wet dog. So a bit of a harsh start for this beer, but if you own a dog and you've smelt this beer, you may notice also a bit of a correlation between the smell of the beer and the smell of a wet dog. But let's get into the review properly, and we'll get into aroma very soon. But I would love to know if anyone else has smelt this smell, so the wet dog smell, when they've tried this beer. And I've actually got 2 bottles. So if anyone wants to try one of them, I'm happy to send them within Europe so you can try them and let me know if I'm just making it up or if it does actually smell like wet dog. Obviously, you would need to have your own dog to better compare to a wet dog, but yeah, let me know and I'll send over a bottle to you. It's got to be within Europe though. So before we jump into aroma, let's just take a look at the bottle and have a look at the beer once it's poured. So look, I actually quite like the bottling. They've got a really great heritage and history, and it's got a bit of an old world style to the bottle, which I like. I'm not so sure on the colors, but I really think the bottle looks good. They've also just gone for Birra Moretti Zero rather than writing alcohol free everywhere, which I think it tells you the same story, but it's a little bit more subtle, and I quite like that. Once opened, there's nothing too crazy about the beer, nothing too special or strange to note. No large bubbles forming, not too much or zero lacing. So it still looks appealing. Like a few bubbles in there, everything looks okay. I've given it a 3.5 out of 5 because, like I say, I do like the bottle. But this is where everything goes downhill for Birra Moretti. So as I've said already, it's I definitely can smell it. As I've said already, there's the aroma of this beer, and I don't know what it must come from, but it comes from something, and it has just a really strong smell of wet dog. So nothing against dogs. I have a dog myself. In fact, he's just jumped out of the shower. Let me just hold him up and do a comparison. This is the dog. He's a bit shy to be on camera. Yep, no, he's obviously used a bit of shampoo because he had a shower today, but there is a really strong similarity between this beer and a wet dog. So it's just not an enjoyable aroma, I don't think, for a beer. And it's getting a 0 out of 5 because it just doesn't smell appealing at all. There is like a little bit of honey and maybe a bit of caramel in there, but there is still, for me, a smell of wet dog in there. So on to taste, and it's unfortunately not much better. The aroma of a beer, it often impacts the flavour of a beer. For me, it's just a not enjoyable tasting beer. A bit too sweet, a bit too like syrupy, a bit flat as well. And there's that strange aftertaste that alcohol-free beers have. So there must be some ingredient that a lot of these beers have, like the Desperado, like the Heineken, like the Carlsberg. They all seem to have the same kind of strange aftertaste that just isn't enjoyable. There's something just weird that doesn't taste right, and it's not as enjoyable as some of the other great beers that are out on the market. So I'm giving this a 1 out of 10. It's not something that I would keep in the fridge, unfortunately. So look, on to the last point, which is overall / kind of ease of purchase. This is, probably going to give it the same score as what I've given other beers that I've bought through the same online handler. So I can't buy this in any supermarkets or stores nearby, but I can get it through a website that I use. And the only thing that I'd kind of tick off or like remove a point for, it's just too expensive. It's too pricey for the beer that it is. So it's only going to get a 2.5 out of 5 for me. So all in all, total, it's not a great score for Birra Moretti. It's going to be a 7 out of 25, the same score that I gave the Desperados. I think it's probably a little bit more drinkable than Desperado by a bit. And Like the bottle, I think is a bit cooler, but it's not an enjoyable drink. Like I definitely won't be finishing this, and I'd really hope that they'd go off and do a bit of review to the recipe, maybe revamp it a little bit, and bring it back out, because I do like Italian beers. Like I'm a big fan of the Peroni when I was drinking normal beers, and I was really hoping that this would be another Peroni that I'd be able to drink, but for me it's just not enjoyable. As always, give us a like and subscribe, and thanks for watching. I have some more reviews here, or they might be here, and then there are some more reviews coming up. Click, watch, and hit that little bell for the things. I don't know, just have a look on my channel every now and again if you want to see some new reviews. Cheers.